Welcome, everyone, to 24/7 Sports. I am Tom Loy alongside the 105 guys. We've got Director of Scouting Andrew Ivins and National Analyst Cooper Patagna. Signing day is right around the corner, so we're looking at 2025 recruiting classes all across the country and bringing fans a look at their soon-to-be signees. We are going to hit 4 superlatives, and today we are looking at Illinois. The Fighting Illini have the number 54 ranked recruiting class in 2025, and there are 17 commits set to play for head coach Brett Bielema. Andrew, we will start with you. Early draft pick potential, somebody with elite traits now who might find their name called early in the next couple of years.
Well, Tom, this one kind of makes you think and it makes you go through your notes. You know, Illinois has had 7 NFL draft picks the past 2 years. They had a wide receiver selected last year. They could have one selected this year in Pat Bryant. So I'm going to the wide receiver position. I'm going with Braden Trimble, a 3-star prospect for us, number 13 player in Illinois. The more you watch, the more you like on this kid. He's got a 96 speed score, 94 explosion score, according to our friends at Next Gen Prospects. Really rare to see that. Took second in the 400 at the Illinois 2A state track meet as a junior. He's narrow, but he's got plenty of room to fill out. 78-inch wingspan. I think this guy's a gadget playmaker, dangerous in the open field. He's got the burst. He's got the agility. You know, might not be the biggest individual, but he'll pop at a would-be tackler in the open field when he gets the opportunity. As a senior at Mount Zion, 6 receiving touchdowns, 2 punt return touchdowns. I just think for Illinois, this is a guy that they can get creative with, someone they can scheme some touches up for. So excited to see him develop there with the Illini.
I love that pick, Drew. I'm going to talk about him a little bit later. I'm going to go with the edge rusher, Eric Gale. A little bit off the wall here, but the guy from Ohio, you look at him, the profile, a little bit of kind of like a tweener frame, 6'2 1/4", 215, but he's long. He's got 35-inch arms and a 6'7" wingspan. And I kind of mentioned that receiver background a little bit, but you watch the way this guy moves, the way that he can bend around the edge, the suddenness, the initial quickness, his ability to get to the passer is something that really stands out. And Drew mentioned it, where Illinois has had a lot of success, those guys off the edge and on the defensive line. This could be one of those guys. It could take a couple years for him to develop, but maybe 2 to 3 years down the line. This is a name that I think is a good one to file away for a later time, and a guy that could pop on our radar in a couple years.
I'm going to go with defensive back Andre Lovett. And I don't know if he's going to be a safety or a corner at the next level, but I do know he's a big-time player. He's somebody I've kind of known about and tracked for a couple years now. He's a playmaker on both sides of the ball. I like the athleticism. I like the overall skill set. I think he's going to have a really, really good career at Illinois. Day one impact, Cooper. Who do you got? Somebody that's going to play early and often when he gets to Illinois.
Well, I thought in my head, Andrew and I always talk about it, all right, Illinois, how they recruit the Sunshine State. Let me just go look at the highest ranked player from the state of Florida, Tywin Cox, and a guy that does a little bit of everything. I think can play in nickel, can play in dime, the defensive back there. A guy that is just a super heady, instinctive football player. You don't see him in a lot of match coverage, but in terms of what he does, he likes to trigger, he likes to play downhill, and he plays violently as well. So you talk about a guy that can really kind of sniff some things out in the run game, better suited to play in that short to intermediate part of the field. But if you're looking for a guy that could contribute early, this is the one guy you throw on the tape, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Illinois player development program, if they can, they will redshirt some of these individuals. So kind of hard to find someone that you think is going to make an impact in 2025. Tom, I'm going to go with your guy, Andre Lovett here. You watch the tape as a senior, what he's done at Blue Island Eisenhower, an in-state kid, getting it done on both sides of the ball. What's really interesting about this Illinois class, they probably got 6 kids that project as a DB. I think some of them they might try out on offense, but 4 of them are kind of full-time running backs on Friday nights, right? They pull double duty. Andre Lovett is one of those individuals, just like Cooper said, with Tywin Cox. You know, he's quick to process. He can trigger. You know, either he's going to retreat, charge forward, whatever they need him to do. I can see him carving out a spot on special teams again. In-state kid, someone that's expected to enroll early. I really like Andre Lovett, and he's someone that seems to be bought into the program there.
I'm going to go with receiver Braden Trimble. He's on tape. He looks like a difference maker, a guy that's going to have a really good career at Illinois. Speed, elusiveness, wiggle. He really makes guys look foolish in the secondary, but a lot to like. I think he's going to be fun to watch in the next couple of years. Boomer bust, Ivins, an intriguing talent who might outperform or underachieve the current ranking. Kind of a mystery. Who do you got?
I think tight end Logan Farrell fits this category perfectly. And to be honest, you know, we're doing our class audits right now, kind of combing through these tight ends. I love what Logan Farrell put on tape as a sophomore and junior, unfortunately missing his senior season due to an ACL tear. So it's going to be hard to push him up the board, but I think we could regret it at some point down the line. 98 explosion score according to Next Gen Prospects. That's one of the best in the class. 173.9 in the discus. I think he's a Y tight end that you can attach, detach, well-rounded player. He will move people as a move blocker, as an inline blocker, and then he can slip out, to the first and second levels and fight for yardage in the passing game. So for me, Logan Farrell, who they flipped from North Carolina, I think he's exactly what that program embodies, blue-collar type of player. I could see him having a ton of success. And then I also like the other tight end they got committed, Grant Smith, small-town, multi-sport kid, comes from an area that doesn't have a lot of FBS talent. They flipped him from Southern Illinois. He's another one that I think could exceed expectations there in the Big Ten.
I'm going to go with a 105 favorite. How about Braden Trimble, a guy that we've talked about a lot already? And I'm going to stick more to the boom side because you watch the tape, you see parcels of kind of what he can do in the return game as a receiver, whether it's getting a touch on a jet sweep and taking it to the house. This guy has dynamic playmaking ability, but I think you go back, you look over the spring, the workout that he had at UA Ohio on the Next Camp circuit, he did a lot of really good things there. You see the growth potential, how long he is. You see what the body's going to look like 2 to 3 years from now. The bounce, the lower body explosiveness, a lot more graceful as a route runner as well. That route tempo, just in terms of that part of his game being something naturally he can build on. So a guy that I think is going to be hard to keep off the field because we talked about that playmaking ability, especially I can see getting involved in the return game. But certainly a guy you put in the crock pot, as Andrew likes to say, and I think he's got a major upside.
I'm joining you, Ivans, on Logan Farrell. Just a really, really good all-around football player. I think he's got a chance, if he bounces back from the injury, to have an excellent college career. A lot of what you already said. Don't need to dive into it any further, but I like Logan Farrell. Diamond in the rough, Cooper, who do you got as a 3-star prospect who could surprise some people and potentially find themselves drafted down the road?
I'm going to go with J.J. Hurtis, the offensive lineman from right there in Michigan, and a guy in the Midwest, and a guy that, turning on the tape a little bit earlier today, it's hard not to like. Just kind of fits what Illinois wants to do, Big Ten style of play, guy that plays right tackle, but I could see moving inside at the next level, can pull, trap, get to the second level, and a big nimble mover as well, powerful at the point of attack, can move people naturally. I think fits Brett Bielema, what they want to do, establish the identity up front. Perfect fit there for Illinois.
So I had Taiwan Cox written down here. Cooper, you've already used him. I just want to point out he's one of the fastest recruits in the country, Florida 3A state champ in the 400-meter dash. His brother is Torrey Cox, who's making plays for the Illini in the secondary. Very athletic family. Dad played in the NFL. His twin sister is one of the top track and field recruits in the 2025 cycle. She might run in the Olympics one day. So I love that pick. He's making plays for Teddy Bridgewater's Miami Northwestern Bulls. I'm going to go with another legacy for Illinois. How about Jerson Newton? And his brother was obviously now in the NFL. He's got another brother who is a really talented wide receiver at Toledo. Jerson Newton, he plays quarterback at Clearwater Central Catholic. I think Illinois might give him a chance on offense. I kind of like him in the secondary, potentially at one of those safety positions. We don't have a ton of information on him, but I have learned over the years, you do not bet against Illinois' evaluations in the Sunshine State. They are one of the best at coming down, getting these 3-star prospects and turning them into NFL draft prospects. So Taiwan Cox is one, and then Jerson Newton as well.
My diamond in the rough is quarterback Carson Boyd. He's an athlete, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get an opportunity to play quarterback in college, and I think he's got a shot to be a really good one. It's easy to question the size and whether or not he's got an NFL future at roughly 5'10", but I think he's got a great arm. He's accurate with the football. He's an impressive athlete, just a lot to like. I think he's going to make a lot of plays at Illinois. But that wraps it up. As I said before, we're going to hit a bunch of schools leading up to December's early signing period. But for Andrew Ivans and Cooper Patagna, I am Tom Loy. As always, stay locked to 247sports.com.